What up now?
All right.
Hey, now, baby, we're back.
What a week. What
Something
a
to talk
starting
about.
week.
Something to talk about.
We got real games to talk about. Hell yeah. That was
Broncos
quite a
dub.
week one. Let's
Broncos
start.
dub.
Let's start just going with, Broncos did get a win. Congrats. Won a few. But let's start by just going over Raiders and Ravens last night, Monday Night Football. Justin Tucker hits a field goal with 42 seconds left. Ravens go up by 3. Raiders come right back. 20-yard pass to Bryan Edwards, spiked the ball. 18-yard pass to Bryan Edwards, spiked the ball. 55-yard field goal, sends it to overtime. Raiders get the ball first, go all the way down to the 1-yard line, only to fuck up a QB sneak, followed by a false start. Crazy interception that went off a Ravens player helmet straight up in the air.
Which would have made for the best Gruden press conference ever after.
Yeah, at that point, you feel like the Raiders are going to blow it.
Yeah.
Right. Ravens get the ball back.
You're feeling good at that point. Yeah.
Sack, fumble. Raiders get the ball right back, and then it ends in a 30-yard touchdown to Zay Jones on kind of a play where the Ravens were risking it all.
Was it just a breakdown? Two guys ran into each other or something?
Yeah, it was man. They were basically probably blitzing 8 and covering with 3, and it was man coverage, and one dude kind of got screened by another defender. Right. And it allowed Zay Jones just to run free.
Because he was
across
wide.
the field. Yeah.
Yeah. Humphreys kind of got picked on it, but because it looked really bad at the end because he knew he was. But he can't let up. Like bad optics, but he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, it wasn't on Humphrey. But Derek Carr after the game actually said, Brad, that Gruden had told him if they get that look, anywhere inside the 40 to audible to that play to Zay Jones in that formation and throw it up there. So it's something that Gruden had planned for early in the week.
Tell you what, man,
and
I saw something back in July, man.
I saw something like last August or something. Who knows?
I wonder too if he knew with a less experience, because it could have been Marcus Peters and Humphrey side by side, but with no Market, then
then they maybe could have switched coverages.
Right. It's but Gruden knows his shit, man. Hats off to him.
It
was a fun game to watch.
Game to watch. Watching it last night too, you just see Gruden's the way he can call a game, man. He makes it difficult. He makes it tough no matter who he's playing, dude. Because he's a smart coordinator. You can see it. It didn't work all night. It did to get it going, but the Ravens are a tough football team, and the Ravens had an idea what they were gonna, the Raiders were gonna come out with. So I don't know. Gruden, man.
Yeah, I mean, Brad. I thought the Ravens looked good. It's a shitty one to let slip away, but you're a Ravens fan, so let's start with you. What are your big takeaways from last night? What are you worried about?
Everything in Baltimore. I mean, you look at overtime, how many times Greg Roman's going to that 8-man blitz and they're, single coverage on the outside. It's risky, and it's, they only are doing it because they weren't really getting to him that often. So you have a weakened secondary. You're not getting to the quarterback, and Lamar clearly was in over his head last night.
Yeah.
The whole thing's frustrating. I mean, that Tyson Williams is looking great in the first half, and then they move on from him to Latavius Murray, who looked like a very old NFL running back. A lot of things didn't make sense.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking of when I was watching the end of the game last night, Brad? You said the way to attack the Ravens was spread them out. And so it took the Raiders a while to figure things out, but their last 3 drives, 41-yard touchdown drive, 85-yard touchdown drive, and then the field goal to tie it to send it to overtime. So by the end of that game, the Raiders were just going right down the field and scoring.
Yeah, and because that wanted to get the field goal, that was only like a couple plays, and they hit like 2 of them out of 3.
20-yard plays, 55-yard field goal. Yeah.
Just like he practiced 2-minute drill, like they did it executed perfect.
That was a tough one too, though. 40 seconds, no timeouts.
Yeah,
to get
dude.
into field goal range. That's
It
not
was-
easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, I said last week on the podcast that Gruden needed to come out with and get a win like this in front of those fans for the first time in Vegas, and they did it, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
hate it because it's the Broncos division, but as a football fan, I can put that aside because we got to win, and seeing John Gruden win is just funny, man.
Yeah. All 4 teams in the AFC West won their games in week 1.
And tight, like the Broncos, we blew them out, but there were some tight games too.
There's not an easy win in that division.
The Chargers were impressive going into a tough game and getting that win.
Well, and last thing on the Monday night too that I thought was the whole Peyton and Eli on ESPN too.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
great.
I tuned out in the fourth quarter just because I
Did you?
wanted to be locked
It
in
was
on the
getting too
game
real.
instead of like the interviews
Their
that they
bullshit,
had
yeah.
hopping in. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like way too forced, but I think like we said, we were watching it on the headset together, and I think the more they work with it, they're gonna get it going because it was like so forced at the beginning, but then after a while, it was kind of cool, and they brought in Russ Wilson for the whole fourth quarter, which I thought was a good play. He was fun to hear and on what he would be doing in plays like that and stuff. I will say, Lamar, on a side note, looked
Here we
at
go.
some points like
Here
a
we go.
baby. Looked like a little bit of a baby. And I we had spoke about this, but I'm just saying, when it's a brand new stadium, granted, I get it. You're playing on the road in front of fans for the first time in a year. I get that. But when you've won an MVP and you're supposed to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league, you got to know the play, clock, the play clock.
Yeah.
And he got to delay a game. And I'm not blaming that. Right. There is supposed to be a coach that is for that. I get that. He's paid to do that. But the quarterback's also paid to know what the play clock's at and what he's at. And just in a mental head, like, that. You should know kind of that. So I know you guys were against me on that. But
Yeah.
I thought he had some bad PR. Like, if that was my quarterback last night, I would have been a little disappointed in just the way that the touchdown hadn't been reviewed yet and ruled a touchdown yet. He's out shaking hands as other players were. But if it's my quarterback, like, I don't think Russell Wilson or a player like that's out. Tom Brady is out there saying, well, good game. It hasn't been reviewed yet, but see you next, good game.
But what is he supposed to do? I mean, the touchdown's being reviewed. What is he supposed to do? Sit on the sideline with his hands on his hips?
Wait till it's reviewed.
Like, how much better does that help their case to win?
I get it. And
just
that's
sitting
fair.
there on
I'm
the
just saying,
sideline.
but wait till it's reviewed at least before you're conceding defeat, in my opinion. I just think that it's, if it was my quarterback,
it's just the way you intook his body language.
just the way he looked, and then fumbling in a spot where you can't fumble it, dude, because you can punt there. It's just his mind didn't look to be in it right when he went out after he shook the hand. He didn't look to come out and want to win the game to me, and it just looked again to a team that I want to be good because I hate the Chiefs, and there needs to be teams that can beat them.
I liked what I saw from Lamar last night just because I thought he threw the ball better than I'm used to seeing him throw the ball. There was a couple throws in the red zone that were really nice. One to Marquise Brown, I believe it was in the first quarter, was a laser on the run. He fitted in there for a touchdown. There was a deep ball to Sammy Watkins that was right on point. So that's a positive I can see with Lamar. He threw the ball a lot better.
It wasn't so much not so much a playing like a physical thing as much as it was just something that I wouldn't want to see from my quarterbacks.
I am kind of concerned with the Ravens offensive line though, because frickin' the right tackle Villanueva, I guess they got him from Pittsburgh. He's a veteran. He was getting his ass kicked by Max Crosby, like
they can't
on the regular.
block.
They like Lamar had no time. So unless he's just going to bail every play, like Pat Mahomes was in the Super Bowl last year, what the hell is he supposed to do on a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 12? You know,
Yeah.
he didn't have time to sit in the pocket and look
Well,
for
and
anything downfield.
And I'll give Lamar this too. It probably was frustrating that they were even like in that game because in his mind they should have won, but he had no running backs. So to run that read option when you don't have the guys that know the system and all that,
You're the
it's just
focus
awkward.
on all those
Yeah,
plays.
dude, it's awkward to like know when they're taking it and when you're giving. So like I can understand the frustration level. It was just I think that like you said, he looked like Lamar Jackson, man. It was just there were some weird moments where I'm like, man, this is almost like Cam Newton shit. Like,
Yeah.
you're kind of like,
well, and I think a lot of that too is it's kind of, you know, once you have that vibe, everything possible then kind of goes into that narrative as well. Lamar's just one of those. He's always relaxed on a sideline, win or lose. He's not.
Yeah, it's not about the side. It was just the weird shaking the hand. It's not in his personality. We can get on to the next.
You know, but because I know people didn't like the towel thing too, but it's like,
well, I didn't, and you told me you watch every Ravens game. Exactly.
And that's the thing with Lamar. It's like he works out with all these guys in the offseason, so he probably knows 50. You know, but yeah, you are right. It could definitely have led to a little lack of focus.
I mean,
you don't know.
People, Belichick walked off the field before the Giants beat him and fucking when they were going to go undefeated that year. Like Belichick left before, so I'm not.
Right.
It wasn't terrible. It was just a takeaway.
That's what you saw and how you reacted to it.
Yeah,
I get that, man.
It was kind of crappy.
So that was a big surprise for a lot of people. The Raiders beating the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Not as much for us because I think we're more of Gruden guys than most.
Well, and really Vegas too. I mean, they had Ravens as a 3-point favorite. I'm pretty sure going into the game. So that's
and that probably adjusts. I wonder what it was before the injuries hit.
Yeah.
Because those injuries that played a role last night.
Yeah. Oh, I think the line went from 4.5 to 3.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say this was like the closest I saw. Like before, it was 3.
Yep.
Which that's
so
Vegas knows their shit, fuckers.
Yeah, that they do. That being said, the biggest surprises for you guys that you saw on the opening Sunday, Jimmy. Let's start it off with you. What surprised you most?
Okay, I'm gonna go with 2 because I know in these I always throw out 50 fucking Diaz and you know what I mean.
Stick to a couple, man.
Right, that's what I'm trying to do here. All right, I'm getting better at this shit. I think. I'm gonna go away from the Packers one because that's so obvious.
When you're calling these dummy audibles, don't be a dumbass yourself.
Yeah. No, but I think Arizona, man, and I know that's an obvious one too, but I think the Packers Saints is that one's even more, obvious. So, dude, I joked about it, and then after the end of it last podcast, I said, but in all reality, I think that Tennessee wins by 20. I think because we had talked about if Arizona could come out and make a statement, and they fucking did, dude. They really did. Chandler Jones, like Brad had said on the podcast last week,
that defense was
exactly
my surprise.
You got those dudes coming off the edge. I mean, I think he referenced Warthog did both guys in the last or both on the first touchdown they had. It was a strip sack by one, like Chandler Jones, and then the other dude picked it up for the touchdown. So, and then I mean, obviously DeAndre going for that touchdown record, baby, calling it. I called it.
DeAndre Hopkins most touchdowns. Man. He got a couple. He's off to a good
start.
Exactly,
dude. Let's go, baby. So, I would say Arizona was impressive, and it'll be a fun team to kind of root for. Kyler's just fun to watch, man.
Yeah, dude. This is actually what I was excited to talk about more than anything. I must have not watched Kyler enough last year because that dude is wild. He's like Lamar. He's like Lamar and Russell Wilson, like all rolled into one almost.
Yeah, but he's like.
That dude is wild. Yeah. He's it doesn't seem real. I've never seen anything close to it.
No.
Like he had one play where he rolled out and then was kind of running up towards the line of scrimmage and then just stopped and kind of stepped back a few yards and then set up to throw.
Reset the pocket.
People are chasing him all around, but he just stops and steps backward and then he's
a punt returner that then also throws the ball.
Yeah, that just stops wherever he wants to and slings it 30 yards. It was wild. So I didn't see that enough last year, and I'm.
I've watched a lot of Kyler with DeAndre last year.
Yeah. If Kyler stays healthy, that team can go far.
Yeah. Now that we saw, well, and I think that what we saw from the defense was that was kind of what you needed to see to be like, okay, man, because that's a tough
right.
Tennessee, maybe I was way too high on them, but offensively, I don't think I was too high there. Like defensively, whatever. I guess they suck, but. they shut him down, man. It was impressive. Dude.
Derrick Henry couldn't do anything. Tannehill
Nothing.
couldn't
He had
get
like
it to
11
Julio
yards,
or
man.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
What
Finish
sucks
was-
is I was high on Hopkins and Kyler, and I didn't get either one of them in our league.
Yeah.
I didn't get any part of it. And I was watching that on Sunday, just like, well, I picked DeAndre for the touchdown thing. So,
All right, Brad, let's kick it to you there. What was your biggest surprise?
I thought Steelers. I thought the Bills would be
Just
one
the
of the
fact
best
that they
teams
were-
in the league.
Yep.
And the Steelers just held them down. Shockingly, Buffalo's running game wasn't terrible, but they couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, 10 points at home.
Right. And it
Mhm.
looked like the Steelers of old. It was a lot of defense and then
Dude.
special teams showing up late with that block punt that kind of gave them a chance. Because, I mean, they might have scored 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown.
Well-
It's not like they dominated on offense. Najee Harris was not super impressive. But
Mhm.
when you're shutting down Buffalo, I mean, that's one of the top 5 offenses in the league.
Yeah, and it's even more impressive too, because the Steelers' offense in the first half wasn't doing jack shit, and the Bills kept
Right.
getting the ball, and the Steelers would just stone them.
Yep.
It was the Steelers' defense held them in there for the first 3 quarters, and then the Steelers got something going late, and then the blocked punt,
Right.
and then that pretty much was game. So, yeah, shout out to the Steelers' defense. We all expected them to be good, but maybe not holding Buffalo to 10 points.
to go
on
into
the road,
Buffalo, 6.5 point underdogs. I mean, that's a good start to your season. And
Yeah.
the Ravens take a loss. Yeah, win-win
And-
for the Steelers.
watching that game too, and we were on the headset that day, on Sunday for the games. We just kept saying, dude, the Bills, what are you doing? You are letting them hang around.
They're
when
hanging
they are
around,
playing.
hanging
It's
around.
Terrible, dude. They're lingering. You don't do that with Ben Roethlisberger on the other team, man. No, you go for the jugular, dude, and they didn't. And one stat I found from that was interesting too. Before we move on, is it was the lowest blitz rate of Allen's career that he had faced. So they were just letting him try
Sending
to throw
4
it.
and cover.
And they were saying, you know what, and
Yep.
beat us. And
That's even more worrisome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he couldn't. So it really, I thought that was really interesting when I read that. I was like, dude, holy shit, because they were just like, man, and he didn't really run much either. So yeah, Steelers. I think when you got Tomlin, we all know that it's like they're going to be a good team.
I'm just more impressed because of who they did it against, and
Dude.
seeing the Bills offense that lit it up last year come out and just get basically shut down. Didn't
Hell
score
yeah.
a point in the second half. It was pretty wild to see. All right, so Jimmy, you said the Cardinals defense was your biggest surprise. Brad,
Just the Cardinals.
Steelers-
I mean,
the
overall.
Cardinals in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, just Kyler. Like,
All
there's
right.
a lot on that.
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad you guys saved this one for me because I got Jameis. That's my biggest.
Yeah, he's
surprise
on
of the
there.
weekend.
I had that one,
5
but-
touchdowns and no picks. So I went back and looked through his
He
game
looked
log.
great.
He hasn't thrown 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions since 2015, and he only did it once.
I can't
Yeah,
believe he's ever
Because I
done
had to go all the way back to 2015 for a game
I've-
where he threw like 4 touchdowns without also.
How many
throwing a
yards
pick.
did he have in that game? And the last
The one in 2015.
Just how he got
I'll check
5
in a
with-
minute. Yeah, 14 completions, 5 of them for touchdowns.
Yeah.
He also had 6 runs for 30 yards, which were my favorite plays of the game. Because when Jameis takes off running, dude, it is some of the funniest shit you'll ever
all
see.
hands on.
He
Yeah.
runs like fully upright, and he'll try
He's
to
got a
run
good
over
baseball
people.
slide.
Looking
Yeah.
around, dude, not like trying to get down.
Yeah. So and then another thing I
Yeah.
have here, I wonder if it helps Jameis that he's working with these unknown receivers now. So it's not like he's trying to force the ball into a Mike Evans or force it into a
You're right.
Godwin.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know,
yeah.
he has to
He's-
see that his dude is open or the play has worked for him for where he should decide to throw the ball instead of being like, oh shit, I haven't got Mike Evans the ball in 5 plays. I need to throw it to Mike right now.
And
then
he's
he forces
kinda-
it and throws a pick.
Learned this system probably for the last year or two with all those receivers, like just being that backup guy
Yeah.
that's always there. If
Right.
there's
Because I think
not,
he is smart.
Breeze
As
isn't
stupid as he
there.
looks, I think he is.
well, and
smart.
he's a good talent. I mean, he's talented.
He's
Yeah.
And
skilled.
we talked about that a few weeks ago, saying that I think me and you, at least, Matt, we were saying that we could see Jameis under that Peyton system being decent because, dude, gunslinger, man, go out there and let it rip. And like, if he fucks up, fuck up, which he probably will. But then you get a day again on Sunday, like against the Packers, and he didn't fuck up, and you win a huge football game. That again, that could affect home field in a playoff game down the stretch if the Saints can continue to be a good football team.
I mean, I think if the Saints play in the playoffs, they'll have to be on the road. Why I think that is obvious to you guys. I think Tampa's winning that division.
Long season, sweetheart.
I did love. I mean, I love Jameis so much. He's on a division rival, and I can't help but like root for the guy.
It's like Gruden with me, man. It's shitty. It's definitely not like Mahomes bag it is.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll come around on that someday. All right.
Pushing one hand, shit
Jimmy's
the other
secretly
one.
got a few Mahomes jerseys in his closet. He's just waiting for the time.
Yeah.
All right. So those were our biggest surprises. Let's take that a little bit further with just week one overreactions. Brad, give me something you saw week one that is actually going to, carry on the rest of the way through the season. What can we take away that's real?
Tyler's going to win the MVP.
Damn it.
Okay.
And I'm happy he's on my roster. But I mean, 289 and 4 TDs passing, 20 and another. I just feel like the running he does is just like you're not going to get a ton of yards probably every week, but he's very smart about keeping himself out of those big shots.
Doesn't really get hit. Yeah.
Right. And the defense blew me away. I did not think they would be able to do that to Tennessee. So, I don't see injuries. It's the only thing that could slow him down.
Okay. Yeah. Kyler, I didn't realize how fucking good he was until 2 days ago. I thought he was kind of a gimmick. I thought he had to run to succeed. But when I saw him running freaking circles around behind the line of scrimmage and then slinging it to somebody, it's like that. He's going to be hard to stop. They got weapons around him. They got 2 good running backs, Chase Edmonds, James Conner.
I couldn't believe even AJ Green looked decent.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be washed, but he looked good.
It's not just Hopkins either. Green is just kind of a luxury, but that Rondale Moore rookie.
Yep.
He's real fast. He seems like he can be a
player. He
player.
almost had a touchdown.
Kirk is the same type of guy. Yeah. So I think we're all really high on the Cardinals more than anybody after week one. That's the kind of team
that was
who would have guessed
really
that,
impressed us.
That game was fun to watch. Like that was almost more impressed, and I don't even know why because the way the Packers looked like shit. But it was just almost more impressive just watching Kyler do that in Tennessee. It was like, man, like he really isn't. Like, damn, like
it wasn't like they were playing Atlanta and he did it. Yeah.
Right, man. It was a team that you consider to be there. And like, man, and maybe you guys had said it about Tennessee's defense being weak. That could have played a big role in it too. I mean, I'm not as familiar with it as you guys are.
He'll have tougher games than he did. He won't always look that good, but I saw enough to say that, man, that dude is fucking wild.
Yeah. And then with the defense too. Yeah. But
overreactions, Jimmy. What do you got?
And this is an overreaction. Browns AFC Championship will be in Cleveland, and old fucking Kermit the Frog's gonna have to come there. And if they gotta go to KC, they'll do it there. But dude, they beat them again by a hair, and I'm telling you, that team is on the verge. Kansas City's defense couldn't stop anything. But they were running through them. I get that
they stopped them when it came down to it. They did stop them.
No, they didn't. They went for a fucking punt, and the dude fucking Hillary duffed it, and the Hanson brother tried to run it.
Stopped them in order to force the punt, and then Baker threw the pick on a potential game-winning drive.
I'm just saying the way that Chubb was running in the first half on him, man. Like the way he ran pretty much the whole day. But I don't think that's like. Again, I think they're I think that
Browns AFC
Cleveland is the team to beat.
Winners. I feel like I've seen that Browns Chiefs movie 3 times now. The Chiefs always come out on top and win it, dude. I've seen the same movie 3 times where the Browns play good enough where they can win.
Did you like A New Hope or Return of the Jedi better?
Yeah, I mean the heroes win in that. I guess.
Nah.
I mean Patrick Mahomes has got to be a Jedi.
It's an overreaction.
Comparison. Pat Mahomes is the Luke Skywalker of this matchup.
I just put Cleveland in that mix with like Tennessee and Baltimore. They have a great run game and a solid.
No, not with Tennessee anymore.
If they get behind, Tennessee, I thought they'd.
Well, dude, they're gonna get Odell back. I mean,
I don't
they're gonna
think
get
Baker
better on
can't,
offense.
Baker can't bring them back if they're behind in a game. That receiving core is
Remains to be
weak.
seen.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, it's a bold. We asked for a bold
Talk
prediction.
about
You
a-
gave it to us, dude.
Talk
Browns
about
to win the
a
AFC
weak
title
receiving
game.
room. Look at the Chiefs, man.
Yeah.
They don't got shit outside of Kelsey and fucking Tyreek. They have nothing.
But I don't. It really hasn't stopped him ever either. So
It did last year in the Super Bowl.
that was more offensive line just getting absolutely ran through. Patrick Mahomes was
Travis
trying to do his
Kelce
best
dropped at
Kyler
least
Murray
one ball.
impression.
Tyreek Hill dropped the ball in the end zone. The hit off his
Yeah.
face.
I mean,
They-
those are two good receivers that usually don't drop the ball,
But
and they just
you know,
happen to.
well,
I don't think that
whatever.
would have been the difference that day either. The defensive line on the Bucks was just eaten. So,
Right on.
but I'll take it. Browns AFC title game. My bold prediction is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles are making the playoffs. This is a team until Sunday. I thought they would probably go like 6-11. I saw enough on Sunday, given it was against the Falcons, but
You bold devil.
the
That's not bold.
Eagles making the playoffs, their
Yeah.
win
Dude,
total
I mean-
was like 6.5 wins, dude.
right.
Wasn't the fucking division winner in that division last year
7
under
and 9.
500? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But their
I
win
mean,
total is 6.5 wins. Their odds to make the playoffs at the start of the year were probably at least plus 600, plus 700. How is this not a bold prediction?
That's bold.
Because you've already seen it.
No, I
I mean,
haven't watched-
it surprised me that they beat the Falcons 38-3, whatever they beat them in Atlanta. Jalen Hurts looked much better than expected. I like the fact that Hurts has overcame a lot in Alabama, in
I
Oklahoma.
like that kid a lot.
The rookie Devontae Smith scored a touchdown. Miles Sanders looked good again. They got another running back, Kenneth Gainwell, that looked really good.
The rookie.
Yeah. So that's a team that the NFC East is always weird. And the NFC in general is kind of thin, where I saw enough teams where I can kind of cross them off of that playoff hunt race that the Eagles are going to be in there at the end of the season. I'd put them ahead I'd put them ahead of the Giants at this point. I'd put them ahead of the Washington football team as well, especially after the Fitzpatrick injury. So they'll be in that division race with Dallas. And I say, even if Dallas wins the division, the Eagles can hit a playoff spot.
Yeah, and that's why
what you say doesn't surprise you, but
yeah,
I mean, in general, this team
didn't-
was not expected to do well this
Oh,
year.
I agree with that, but no one in that division. Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, that's bull. Yeah, I got you. That's
because I mean, I feel like Dallas is going to run away with it. Philly was shocking, so it could right, like you said, they make it in as a wild card.
Yep. All right. Another one I had here was Justin Herbert, most passing yards, just because I thought he proved himself yesterday against a tough defense. Like he was, I know the scoreboard doesn't show it. They won like 20-16, but every time that game came on red zone, Herbert was making another incredible throw. The dude's just got a crazy arm.
And you had gone into that game. You were saying you thought he was in for a rude awakening and stuff, and so
I kind of expected it to go the other way.
I think he proved a lot as well. I thought the same, Matt, when the way he performed, because that's a tough place to play, man, and it's a good defense. And man, they kind of shut him down, dude. I saw Chase Young he didn't even have a sack.
No.
And like, what was the other? Yeah, I had.
I think they said Montez Sweat got a sack. Yeah,
Sweat had one.
Yeah.
They had two, I think, altogether.
They did have two sacks.
Total. Yeah,
and the Chargers were something like 14 for 20 on third down, which is a crazy stat.
And he was super efficient too, man. So I think they looked really good. Unfortunately for Denver,
and that
it's a
third
good
down
division.
stat was because of Herbert too, because Washington kind of really sold out to stop the run, and they really shut them down. But I think Herbert had like 40 plus attempts, like 47 attempts, something like that, for his 330 yards.
Yeah. So he did chuck it.
That's a lot of it on his back there. And
that they're trusting him to do that, man.
Yeah.
And who never goes away, just before we move on, Keenan Allen, it was like watching Red Zone.
He was back.
This guy, man, it's just like
I like some of his catch celebrations too, because he almost like does he does some like sort of robotic celebration. He'll like crank up his shoulders.
I know.
And
Yeah,
then do
yeah.
the first
Yeah.
down. It was just
Yeah,
You can tell he knows what it looks like on TV. Is the feeling
he's
I get?
being
It's
goofy,
a weird,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
I've had
weird
him
thing.
a lot in fantasy, so yeah.
All right. Let's take
Yeah,
a
they
quick
look good,
break
though.
just because we're nearing the 40-minute mark here, but we're
Right
gonna
on,
come
man.
back and we'll talk a little bit more about these young quarterbacks when we get
Let's
back
get
here.
it.
Let's get it, Shouty.